a two-story building, the wall one! Can I go down?
Hello everybody and welcome to another solo builds video. In this video I'm going to be showing you guys the Lonestar build and how you guys can make this your favorite build yet. It's a very high octane build with a lot of action. This build is really fun. So here's the gear. So for this build here, I'm going to be using the Alejandro as my main weapon. This weapon has deadly, critical hit damage is increased by 15%. Destructive, armor destruction value is increased by 15% when using this weapon. And cover shooter. Every bullet fired at an enemy from cover increases weapon damage by 0.5% up to 50%. The bonus lasts for 10 seconds. Getting a kill with this weapon while in cover resets the duration. The bonus damage is cancelled by reloading, swapping weapons, or exiting combat. So with this weapon, I tried to, if you take a look at the attachments that I have here, I got the extended magazine. Now normally for Lonestar, depending on the weapon that you're using, you normally don't want an extended magazine, maybe a heavy spring, because you want to get halfway through your mag as quickly as possible to see if you guys can proc the 6-piece bonus that you're going to be getting here. But for this, I do have an extended magazine on this just because the rate of fire is really high, and this works out really well. So I got the I have a large I have a 12 scope on here, mostly for the headshot damage, and the critical hit and critical chance. You want to kind of build critical hit chance on this build in general. So my secondary is the MG5. This has critical hit damage is increased by 15%. Also has destructive, but where this weapon is really deadly is the vicious. So critical hit chance is increased by 10% while having more than 2 segments of health. That is actually, it's pretty useful. Once you guys get into the midway through my video, once I start showing off how this build really performs, you're really going to see on how high the critical hit, you're going to be critting all the time. So for this, I also have an extended magazine. Again, I'm stacking critical hit chance and critical hit damage on here, so you guys will be able to see that in my character sheet at the end of the build. So that's the weapons. For my armor is rolled enemy armor damage. It has health on here. You can swap out health for something else if you want. However, health works for me. And I have firearms and critical hit chance mods. For the mask is critical hit chance with damage to elites. This is, I have it rolled stamina. So this is the only piece on here that's actually rolled stamina instead of firearms, and that's just because of the weapon talents that I have. Firearms and critical hit chance for the mod. Knee pads are rolled enemy armor damage, and I have increased kill XP on here with damage to elites. Now, the reason I have increased kill XP on here and on some of my other pieces is because the reason we're doing these solo build videos is because we're trying to get as much loot as possible at the end. Mostly it's because of the division shields and the commendations that I'm trying to get you guys to really get progression on. Like, for example, if you need a division shield where you need one of every piece of exotic gear, getting increased kill XP would help, considering the boxes can proc one of those pieces as well. So that's why I have kill XP on some of my pieces. Firearms critical hit chance, as well as a 7% support station duration. Backpack roll critical hit damage. It has 2 7% support station durations, as well as a firearms critical hit chance. Gloves are rolled LMG damage and enemy armor damage with critical hit chance. This is the best that you can possibly get for hands for this build. And holster is rolled critical hit chance. This has a support station healing speed. So now you're noticing that my performance mods are all based off of the support stations. This I feel is the most beneficial when it comes to soloing, especially now I'm going to show you guys the talents and the abilities. we'll start off with the abilities. I do always use the ammo cache. Sometimes I'll use the life support during the contamination wave just to get me a little bit of healing, extra healing, because I do burn really quick. But with the durations, this keeps your ammo box by default down on the ground much longer, and that's important once I get into the talents. Now there's two other different kinds of abilities I'm going to be using. One is going to be the mobile cover, and that's going to be with countermeasures on it, because you want to get that increased damage, and you're also, I mean, immune to pulses doesn't matter, but you get resistances and stuff as well from being behind this cover. So for the ultimates, I always recommend that you guys use Recovery Link, because this is a solo build, but I will be using Survivor's Link as well, just to make sure I can get to the computer waves on time, the computer stations on time. Talents. I'm going to start off with this one. That's okay. So kill a hostile while any skill is deployed to extend any active skill durations by 10%. Now this is what I found out here. If you just run this talent with no performance mods for your duration, like those 7% that I have, this still does not keep it down for the whole round. It's just not enough. So you have to get your duration up high enough before you use this tech support in order for your box to last almost the majority of the round. Moving into the security tab here, precision. Headshot a hostile to pulse him for 10 seconds. This one here you don't have to have, mostly because these enemies are going to be dying so fast that you might not even really get a chance to really utilize the pulse. So you guys can feel free to swap this out for something else. Stopping power, suppress a hostile to increase headshot damage by 25% for 10 seconds. This is extremely useful, considering I'm always laying on the trigger. I do suppress everybody. If they do take cover and they don't instantly die, you're suppressing them, so you're getting that extra damage. It's nice. Medical tree. Medkits now give 7 seconds of immunity from status effects. This one I feel for this build is very needed, and this has saved my life multiple times, especially during the contamination wave. If you pop this medkit, you're not only getting the heal from the medkit, but you're also not going to be getting burned from the contamination because of your immunity. So if you did want to swap out precision for something else, I would maybe try and stick to the medical tree. Critical save is always nice. Use a medkit during low health to increase damage resistance by 20%. So any kind of damage resistance or immunities as a solo player is always best. So that's what I would recommend. So let's get into the character sheet here. Firearms is at 8,900. Stamina is at 4,100. So it's pretty important to have your stamina over 3,800 so you can get those weapon talents that I showed you. Weapon damage, 20,000. Critical hit chance is 21.5. I'm not using a pulse, so this critical hit chance can be a lot higher. But for me, because of the rate of fire, I see that I'm critting very often, even with this low of a critical hit chance. Critical hit damage is at 57%. Headshot damage is at 137%. So that's where I kind of based the majority of this off of. You're going to notice you're downing enemies extremely fast. And the big Alejandro is very controllable behind cover, even with not really too much stability mods being put on it. So hitting a headshot damage is a lot easier, I feel, with an LMG versus assault rifles and stuff like that. Because you're just laying on the trigger, and even if you're aiming center mass at their chest, you can easily just kind of pull your mouse forward and get it on their head. Damage to elites is at 28%. Enemy armor damage is at 33%. That's not horrible. It's pretty good. Your skills, you're not getting much out of this. Your skill power is only at 88,500. That's why I said that normally on the contamination wave, I might end up switching my my support station to get the better one instead of the ammo one, just for a little bit of extra heals. So health's at a little over 250,000. Armor almost 8k. This is survivability is you're still kind of squishy even with a little bit extra stamina, but like I said, the enemies should be dropping very quickly anyways. So yeah, with the abilities I didn't get into my second ability. So like I said, I use the mobile cover mostly up until I get up into the hallway, and then I'll use the flame turret. I'll use the flame turret just to CC the enemies to freeze them, so this way you can mow them down with your LMGs. So that's the build, guys. That's how I run my Lone Star solo. And go ahead and stick around, guys, and watch the footage that I'm going to show you guys and how this build really performs in action. And as always, guys, go ahead and like and subscribe, and drop a comment down, guys. What's your favorite Lone Star build? I'd like to hear from you guys. So without further ado, guys, enjoy.
Bound in 20 seconds. Ten seconds until next wave. Next wave of hostiles is beginning.
I'm seeing 5 hostiles remaining. Scans say you have 3 enemies left. I'm seeing 1 more hostile. From what I'm seeing, you're gonna have to deal with skill jammers.
20 seconds until next wave. Next wave of hostiles in 10 seconds. EMP blast incoming.
Looks like you got 5 hostiles remaining. You've got 3 hostiles to go. You've got 1 enemy remaining.
Hostiles inbound in 20 seconds. Hostiles inbound in 10 seconds. The next wave is about to begin.
I'm seeing 5 hostiles remaining. Scans say you have 3 enemies left. I'm only seeing 1 more hostile. Get yourself ready to scan an objective.
20 seconds until next wave. Next wave in 10 seconds. Scan the indicated location. objective.
Fire on target.
10 seconds remain for you to complete critical objective.
Come on. Let's get this done. Runners are down. Targets lined up.
Eliminate all hostiles that remain.
There's 3 unfriendlies left. You've got 1 enemy remaining.
Let me do my job. Stay out of the fire radius. Let me do my job. Whoa.
Seconds until next wave. 10 seconds until next wave of hostiles. Heavily armored enemy inbound.
indicates 3 enemies remain. I'm only seeing one more hostile. Uh-oh. Shade Tech is gonna go offline.
Next wave of hostiles in 20 seconds. Ten seconds until next wave. Alert. Shade Tech interacts are offline. Looks like you got 5 hostiles remaining. You've got 3 hostiles left. You've got 1 enemy remaining. Next wave in 20 seconds. Next wave of hostiles in 10 seconds. Hostile wave is imminent.
I'm seeing 5 enemies left. There's 3 unfriendlies left. I'm seeing 1 more hostile. Hey, get ready to scan the objective.
Hostiles inbound in 20 seconds. 10 seconds until next wave of hostiles. Scan the target area. Seconds remaining to complete the critical objective. There are 30 seconds remaining for you to complete the critical objective. There are 10 seconds remaining for you to complete the critical objective. Take out all remaining enemies.
Say you got one hostile left. Get ready. Virus burst may be headed your way.
Next wave in 20 seconds. Next wave in 10 seconds. outbursts incoming.
I'm seeing 5 hostiles remaining. Scanning indicates 3 enemies remain. I'm only seeing one more hostile.
Hostiles inbound in 20 seconds. Ten seconds until next wave of hostiles. A heavily armored hostile is approaching.
Scans indicate 5 hostiles remain. There's 3 unfriendlies left.
Listen.